Hey everyone, this is Bill Krieger from the Veterans Archives podcast, where we preserve and share the incredible stories of our nation's heroes. Catch us every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern on Wreaths Across America Radio, or stream anytime on Buzzsprout, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Really, anywhere you choose to get your podcast, you should be able to find us. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on social media to help us reach more veterans and supporters. We are a nonprofit, and this service is completely free for veterans. Every story matters, and every voice deserves to be heard. Spread the word, honor our heroes, and join us on this mission. Follow, share, and tune in, because their story should never be forgotten. Learn more at veteransarchives.org. We'll see you there. Good morning. Today is Wednesday, February 26th. We're here talking with Bill Kelley, who served the United States Navy. So good morning, Bill.
Good morning.
It's great to see you.
Yes.
Like I said earlier, we'll start out real simple. Tell us when and where were you born?
Okay. Gagetown, Michigan, 1932.
Where's H-Town at? I'm not familiar with that.
Well, it was horses back then, and even everything they'd done was by hand, you know. So my dad was the hired hand. So my sister and I, at eight years old, we were milking cows.
Did you have to get up early in the morning to do that?
Oh yeah, and before school.
Uh-huh.
And then we walked 3 miles to school. So it was really fun. But anyway, it really wasn't that bad, but that I think about it now. But you know, there was four of us. I have two sisters.
Okay.
One brother. And one brother is 8 years. I think it's 8 years younger than my sister was. I think 6 years, but they both have passed away.
Yeah. Were you the oldest then in the family, in the kids?
No. Both of my sisters was older than I was.
Okay.
Both girls.
And so you would all get up early and milk the cows and then go to school. And what was school like for you? Well,
it probably wasn't very good for me because I was always kind of the guy that I did the reviewing and that everybody got a big kick out of it, you know.
So after school and all of that, what were you drafted into the Navy, or did you enlist in the Navy?
I enlisted.
Well, let's talk a little bit of what was that like for you. What made you decide to go in the Navy?
Well, like I said, I've heard so much about it, and I said there's only one way. I'm gonna get rid of this farm. So,
yeah, you were saying that you were like every day you just hated it more and more, and so
yeah.
So that's kind of what drove you to join the Navy.
Yeah, I was in the Navy 4 years. Well, I know I come out in 1954. I know that.
Okay, so you must have gone in right around 1950 then.
Yeah, that would have been about what it was.
Yeah.
Well, I was just so glad to get out of there.
Can you tell me a little bit about, do you remember going to basic training or boot camp? What was that like for you?
Yeah, I went to, can I turn back and forth on this?
Oh, absolutely. This is your story.
Yeah. Jim Crone was a buddy of mine when we were in, high school. Mm-hmm. And he went, my folks wouldn't sign for me And so I was trying to,
to get enlisted?
and then they found out that I was 16, so they sent me back to Bad Axe and told me to get. I was in Detroit then at this time, so I figured I'd sneak in through there. So, but I didn't. They sent me back anyway, and there was an old fella that was a captain in transportation ships, and this gentleman was he was in and he was retired, and he lived about I don't know, maybe 3 miles from us. So he went down and talked to my parents. So anyway, this captain got me in the service.
He convinced your parents that it would be okay.
That's right.
Okay.
So anyway, this Robert Crone and me, and there was another kid. So this kid, Wyoming was his name. Not Wyoming here.
That was just his name, though, Wyoming.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he was just old enough. He was just 18, and they took him in. So I just have to tell you this, because it was at that time. It was just I couldn't hardly stand it. That I found he went in the Marines, and I think I went about 6 months behind him, and he was on a destroyer also, but then I don't know just how it worked, but anyway, he ended up, he re-enlisted, and he went in the Marine Corps, and he was, and I'll tell you where I went through basic, not trying to get two roads together, I don't mean to do that.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
So when I was coming back from Korea, his mother, the Worley, his mother wrote me a short letter. Sorry.
You're fine. You're fine. I know this is hard.
Boy.
Yeah, those memories can sneak up on you, can't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What had happened to him?
Yeah, he really shaped. I'm not real sure whether he was killed in Korea or if he was maybe. I don't think he was in Vietnam, but his mother said that he had been killed. So that was tough.
Yeah.
Because him and I got thrown off the bus, and we'd have to walk 3 miles.
So why'd you get thrown off the bus?
Throwing spitballs and that stuff. Yeah.
All kinds of fun stuff.
And then the teacher caught us behind the stove, chew tobacco. That wasn't very nice either.
Let's take a quick break.
Hey, listeners. We need your help to keep the Veterans Archives podcast going. We're a nonprofit dedicated to preserving the stories of our nation's heroes, and we provide this service completely free to veterans. Your support helps us record, share, and archive these incredible stories so future generations never forget the sacrifices made for our freedom. Every donation, big or small, makes a difference. Visit veteransarchives.org to contribute today. Help us honor their service by ensuring their voices are heard. And thank you for your support, and thank you to all the veterans who have served our country. Can we go jump back a little bit to your time in the Navy?
Oh, okay.
So you were on a destroyer, right?
Yep.
And you ended up in Korea.
Yeah.
And so tell me about your experience in the Navy. What was that like for you? And you were a gunner's mate, right?
Yeah, gunner's mate. And sometimes I would be on a 20 millimeter, and some of the time I would be on a 40 millimeters, and sometimes I'd be helmsman, and sometimes I'd be the nutsulator, but you know about that.
Yes, I do.
So the captain, I think every time we were come in port, he come back, he's drunk. So,
oh no.
So anyway, when we got underway, almost every time he was he was drunk. But so when we went to sea the one time, it was really funny, and it was pretty nasty, and the waves were pretty high. But right in that area where Korea, where I don't know if it came up, and then it backed, and then it went back up this way. You've probably seen that.
Yes. Yep.
So, I said when I got out, I was going back in the Navy, and so 1955, I tried to go back in the Navy, and they kicked me out. I mean, of course, when I left, I was 55. That was in 1955. Mm-hmm. That I was trying to enlist. They wouldn't let me. They said that I could re-enlist. But when I tried, they said no. And I said, well, why? Because you said I was re-elected, and I could. They said no, because you have a child and a wife. So that's what happened right there.
So you got married. Did you get married while you were still in the Navy?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, I did. Yep. My son, I don't know if you want me to get into that. It's just a short part. I don't know. It really don't mean that much. But I went through basic at
So were you did you go to Great Lakes, or did you go to
Great Lakes?
Great Lakes, okay.
That's where I went.
Yeah. And what time of year was it?
Cold. I mean cold.
Everyone I talked to went there in the wintertime.
Oh, boy. Camp Dewey. That's where I went.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How was that for you?
Oh, it was tough. Oh, and then it didn't matter that, I don't know about you, but a Marine taught us the small ammunition.
Yeah.
Okay, and you went down on your elbows. Them almost killed you. Oh my God! But anyway,
So is that where you had to crawl and they would shoot ammo over you?
yeah,
Yeah. So anyone listening to this, my father served in the Marine Corps,
okay,
and during basic training, he did that training.
yeah.
And a friend of his got caught up in the barbed wire, so he went over to help him. Ended up getting shot across the back during training because they were using actual ammunition.
Oh yeah,
They used to fire ammunition over the top of you to get you used to that
Yep,
situation.
absolutely.
Right? Yeah. So I didn't realize that they did that in Navy basic training.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
12 weeks.
Yeah.
That's what it was. 12 weeks, and then so you were up. You were in up in the upper admiral. You were, or you.
Oh no, I was enlisted in the Navy. I was a first class petty officer when I got out of the Navy.
Oh, that's great.
And then I joined the Army of all things. I actually retired as a captain in the Army.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's as far as I got.
Yeah, that's pretty far. I only got to third class.
Okay, petty officer third class.
Yeah.
And you were a true gunner's mate too. You worked actually on the guns.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Sometimes I was on one, like we had one guy that they shot over us, and then they we had more problems with tornadoes than anything.
So tell me about that.
Well, we figured we were hit with the tornado, and that was in 1952, and we were just hit. It was in the strike, and we were not blown up, but we were hit just in the fantail, exactly where we were hit. And you know as much as I know that was the boiler people.
Yeah.
Maybe they were using. I don't know what else they were using at that time. But we carried so many. 5-inch 38 we carried, and the Hedgehog. We carried that. And like I said, 40 millimeter, but boy, that 20 millimeter, and we shot that by. You didn't. A lot of times you didn't shoot it by seeing a shell.
Uh-huh.
A lot of times it was you followed it.
Like kind of tracers. That's how you.
That's
would,
it.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
Yeah, like tracers. So that's. So you didn't really aim. You sort of.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And that's when you was on that 20 millimeter. That was dangerous. Excuse me. We had a shield on each side over here, and then you had the magazine, which was about this big around, and you set it up on the top. I don't know if you had any of that experience.
No, I did not.
I seen that one time. Oh my God! I don't know how the kid didn't get killed, but I've never, I never was hit, and it's just a miracle. But
So every once in a while, that 20 millimeter gun would get hit. Is that what would happen?
yeah, sure.
Wow. Okay.
And I was one of the first ones that that got on it, and like I told you about them shields on each side,
Right.
and the guy putting that big round, hell, he was in more damage than me.
Right.
Yeah, because I had a little bit of shield. Yeah. So then a lot of times we'd get in fights.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and this one kid, he was a torpedo man. This guy here, and they always thought they were tough, you know. Well, I don't want to get into looking like I was a hard guy, you know. I was in a not really a great fighter, but I wasn't bad at it either.
Yep.
And
So this guy wanted to fight. Is that what happened here?
that's what he wanted to do. See?
Yeah.
So this kid, I always kind of took care of this kid, and because at that time I weighed around 100, I'd say 160, because when I come out of the service, I weighed about 100, maybe 155 or something like that. Yeah, and
So how big was this kid?
oh, this kid was probably, I'd say 160, something like that.
Oh, so you were pretty evenly matched then.
Yeah, and I was built,
Yeah.
you know, not like you know, but I was built pretty good up here. And
Yeah.
in fact, I still, they get a big kick out of that because I'm in a home now, and because I couldn't walk anymore, so, but it's not a big deal because I do almost what I want. You want me to go to that area or not?
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to tell me about the Navy, or is that all?
No,
I mean, this is really your.
Oh no, I can go more than that.
Okay.
Like I said, I was on the USS Rich 820.
That was a DLG, right? Is that what they
No,
called
it
them?
was a DDE.
Oh, a DDE. Okay.
Yep. And well, we did a lot of shooting crap. Everything that was bad, we did it.
Mm-hmm.
Because who in the hell cared? Because we didn't figure, young, a lot of young ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, because things were not good back then.
Right.
So I was so happy to get out of there. But then I think of it now, and I helped my folks, and it was tough. But I helped my mother, because my father, he had died at 49.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked for U.S. Steel and National Steel.
So when you got out of the Navy, I just want to kind of make the story. So you got out of the Navy, you tried to go back into the Navy, you couldn't because you had a wife and a son.
Yep.
Is that when you went to work for U.S. Steel or for?
Yeah, I worked 8 years for U.S. Steel
Okay, and where did you work for U.S. Steel at?
in Gary,
Indiana. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and
so did you have any more children in that time?
no, I had 2 after that.
Okay.
After I was out.
But just your son is the only one you had at that
Yeah,
time.
I had at that time.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So what was it like in Gary, Indiana?
Crazy. I don't know. I can't really talk that much about that place because
Okay.
I don't know much about it.
So you got out of there then after 8 years.
Oh yeah.
And then where did you go after that?
That's when I came to Portage, Indiana. My wife and I lived there, of course, and I got laid off, and when I was in Gary,
Uh-huh.
and then I moved to Portage, Indiana, and I moved to Portage, Indiana, because there was I had worked in, like they called it, National Steel.
Yeah.
And so I worked there.
So you were in Portage, Indiana. Is that where you stayed the rest of your career?
Yeah, 31 years.
Okay.
And of course, you know, National Steel is Grand Rapids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not getting ahead of myself. Yeah, Grand Rapids. I spent 31 years, and the last 17. Yeah, the last was 17.
So you were going to tell me about your son.
Yeah, he's a medical doctor.
Oh.
And my youngest daughter teaches school, and her sister and her both moved to it was in where?
So are they still in Michigan?
No.
So they move out west somewhere?
They moved to oh my gosh. Anyway, they left and moved to first they moved to Arizona.
Okay.
So I went there, and I drove bus. I was about every place. But anyway, I was told that a guy by the name of Bob Lively, who had moved up to first lieutenant. That would be, I think that would have come under the, that takes you up to a officer, they're an officer, but they're not.
Oh, like a warrant officer.
That's it.
Yeah, a warrant officer.
That's exactly.
Okay.
And they were pretty high up, and especially in where the bad areas are,
Mm-hmm.
and because I knew a couple of them,
Yeah, the warrant officers are kind of the experts in their field.
That's right.
Sort of people. Yep.
Sure. If they made officer, like in your area where you was at, there wasn't that many of them.
No. No, there was not. There was not.
Yeah, I knew about that.
Uh-huh.
So
you said you had 4 children?
No, 3.
Oh, 3. Okay, so 2 girls and a boy.
Yeah, my boy is a doctor.
Yeah. Is he a doctor here in Michigan, or was he a doctor here in Michigan?
No,
Okay.
it was in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Oh, okay.
That's where he lived, in fact.
Yep.
And the youngest daughter, she was in the Air Force.
Uh-huh.
My youngest one, another devil, and my oldest, my youngest daughter, Kathy. She ended up. She went 40 years in the Air Force, and then she got out of the Air Force so she could go to school.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was a pretty. So I don't know if she's still teaching it or not, but when I last talked to her, she had 3 more years and she was going to retire. So, and she taught business in high school. Yeah. And so, you know, I went in, I had in National Steel, when I worked there, I had 31 people that worked for me.
So were you a foreman?
Yes.
So you still worked at the mill itself? You still worked the floor?
The first years I started in that kind of work was I worked in a tin mill first, and boy, that was a dangerous bit. Oh, crazy. Yeah. But anyway, I worked on them tin mill, and I was a sticker, and boy, when the steel broke off and come out of that thing, but I'll get off this subject. I'll tell you a little bit about.
Oh yeah, you're fine.
Because I'm sure you don't know a lot about. Maybe you do.
Well, I worked in a lumber mill.
There you are.
Yeah, so I remember like when you would rip the lumber, if you didn't have your guard on the saw, I remember a guy, it kicked back and put the board right through his leg.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's probably similar, not the same, but I understand the danger.
Yep.
There. So yeah.
Yep. We had in National. I know we had one. They took part of his head right off him. So I remember that one. Mm-hmm. In fact, I was just coming out. I was working daylight at the time, and so I saw that when it happened. But boy, that was terrible. So anyway, yes, they built a finishing mill. Mm-hmm. A finishing mill. No, they built a coal roll. That was so they could, if it made it so that it caused, like I said, it was a coal roll, and they shipped what they called the hot band, and so that's it just was they shipped that in on. From Granite City in Detroit. Mm-hmm. They sent that from Granite City, and they had trucks that hauled that in that belonged to National Steel at that time.
So they would ship it from Granite City to Portage, Indiana, then, yep. Where you were at. Okay.
I was there then, but. I wasn't. I was moved up. I was moved up to
Was supervisor or foreman or?
Yeah, that's when I was. That's when I was. Go, you know, to them.
Okay. I want to shift gears a little bit. I want to ask. So you were married to your first wife, you said, for 55 years. Can you tell me, how did you two meet? Did you work together, or how did you meet her?
She never worked. I met her. Her age was she was 4 years older than I was.
Okay.
We had a great relationship, her and I. And I always say, within them 55 years, it was one hell of a good. She lived with me, you know, some of the steel mills, and so she was sure a good wife. The one I'm married to now, I've been married for 17 years to this girl here, and we've done well. And like I took a good pension from National, but I probably would have been in, but there was 8 or 9 of us. I don't remember all that, but we knew that National Steel was going to go belly up. They're going out of business. So we had enough time that we could get out, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why I took it. But then
So did you retire? You must have retired in the late 80s or early 90s then.
1992 is whenever I retired.
Okay. So you've been retired for about 30-some years.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
But I worked more places for the steel mills.
So after you retired, you went back to work. You just
kind
of on your own terms at that point.
I worked at every place there was. Well, we bought a motor home. And so that was another venture.
You travel all over the country with that?
Oh yeah, we did. Oh my gosh! And when I bought that, I went deeper than I should have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bad deal. I did, and I think that's the worst bad deal that I did. But you know, you can make mistakes and cover them. I was really lucky.
Sounds like all 3 of your kids pretty much did okay for themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did. My youngest daughter, she showed me she has 3 years and she'll retire from high school, taught high school. So
really, I just have kind of one last question to ask. And so that is, we've talked about a lot of stuff. You raised a family, you had a great career, you got to do some traveling after you retired. It's not many people that stay married for so long and then are able to find someone else. So these are all, I think, good things. So when someone listens to your story in the future, what would you like them to take away from your life and from our conversation today? What message would you like to leave people with?
The stories that I left, and with a lot of people, I made. I feel that I grew up to to be very happy, the people that I met. And I put this out to everybody, and they'll tell you here at the home, and you're a very neat person too. I think you're one of the best that I've been around.
Well, thank you.
And I'm so proud that I met a Navy guy that I'm really.
We got to stick together, us Navy guys.
That's right.
That's for
you
sure.
Got it. Yeah.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Veterans Archives podcast. We truly appreciate you taking the time to listen and honor the incredible stories of our nation's heroes. Don't forget, you can catch us every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern on Wreaths Across America Radio, or stream past episodes anytime on Buzzsprout, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and as I've said before, any place you can find a podcast, you can find the Veterans Archives podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share our content on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and across all social media. Every share helps us reach more people and preserve more stories. The Veterans Archives podcast is a nonprofit initiative, and our mission is simple: to give veterans a voice and ensure their stories are never forgotten. This service is completely free for veterans because their sacrifices deserve to be recognized and remembered. You want to help? Follow us, spread the word, and if you know a veteran with a story to tell, send them our way. Visit us at veteransarchives.org to learn more about how you can get involved. Thanks again for tuning in, and most importantly, thank you to all the veterans and their families for their service and sacrifice. Until next time, take care, and we will see you on the next episode of the Veterans Archives podcast.